Quick update. I keep getting asked, I haven't posted anything for a while, and I keep being asked about how things are going on. So I thought I'd give an update on the various projects. As you can see, that's Sinclair, that's up on the shelf there. That one will end up with modern electronics in it, hopefully, to be able to do some ridiculous speed. Nothing's going to happen with that for a while. I've got to work out how I'm going to do it, design the electronic side of it, and work it out from there. So that's long term, that's up on the shelf, which is where it will stay for a while. The engines, as you can see, they're now in a different garage. My Corvette has moved to a garage nearer home. I've sorted out the other garages, so these are now in here and I can get to them. It's only recently happened, so as of yet I've done nothing with them. That one is the one that was free. That's the one that was seized and has had diesel down its bores for probably a year or two now. At some point I should find a wrench and see if it will turn over. So I'll do that at some point in the future, but again, they're now accessible, but nothing has happened with them just yet. Next project, which you haven't seen before, is this. It's a 1957 James Commodore 250, or L25. The L25 designating the type of engine, which is an AMC 249cc two-stroke. Earlier ones had a Villiers engine, and later ones had a Villiers engine from, I believe, although I could be wrong, but I believe from 57 through to 60 or 59 they all had these AMC engines, and the L25 obviously denotes the 250 or 249cc. This is definitely a project. It hasn't been on the road, well, at least since 1981, which is when it was re-registered. It hadn't been on the road for a long while prior to that, and the chap that I got it off had it since 1981. He was unable to prove the original registration number belonged to this bike, so it had a reissued registration number, which was done in 1981. That may have been the last time it was on the road. It may not have been on the road for even longer than that. It's pretty much complete, albeit a bit tatty in places. I quite like that. It sort of shows it's the original paint. Obviously certain things, some of the chrome here is a bit dodgy, but you know, it's complete. There, that's the James logo. The only issues it had, as you can see, it's got the wrong engine cover there. It's off a Francis Barnett's, probably the 200cc or maybe even the 150. I do have the correct engine cover, and I do have the little bit that goes in that gap there with James on it, so that I have got the correct parts for that. The bits that are missing are not much. You've got obviously a cover that goes round here. I believe there'll be a battery go there, and I have a cover that would go around there that's missing. It's not a hugely complex part. It's obviously just a bent bit of metal. It has a slight sort of swage line, slight ridge in the middle of it, and Commodore 250 written on it. So if I can't find one, it shouldn't be a major issue fabricating a replacement. The only other issue is the front mudguard is the wrong one. That's off I believe, off a James Trials bike. But as you can see underneath the paint, it is chrome. So I'm hoping I can clean that up and possibly be able to sell it if the chrome's any good, and get a bit of money back that way, which will hopefully then pay for the correct type of replacement. Obviously all the cables, clutch cables, brake cables, whatever, choke and whatever are all missing and not connected. Got wiring not connected. Obviously the gear selector, everything's not connected. The only big issue and the big question mark on this is the engine is locked up. And obviously until I get that apart, I've no idea what the issue is there, and that pretty much decides what route I take with the bike. While it appears to be a very rare bike, it's not a valuable bike. So if I do fully restore it, it certainly won't be to make money. Initially what I'm hoping to do is to, once I've finished the pit bike project, which I'll get to in a minute, is to get the engine out, take that home, strip it apart and see what the issue is there. If I can get that running relatively easily without any major machine work, I'll probably replace the tyres, do the brakes, the wiring, cables, and possibly just use the bike as is. Sort of a bit of a I don't like the term rat look too much, but a sort of a rat look, original look bike, unrestored but running. And at a later date I may then perhaps go through and strip it all down and paint it all properly. But you know, on the whole, it's not bad. The exhaust looks in reasonable condition. All the guards are there, shock covers are there, pedals are there, albeit some of the footrests are a bit bent. Obviously I'm going to have to clean the tank out. There's very stale fuel in there, and the tyres will need replacing while there is tread on them there. Well, I dread to think how old they are. So that's these projects. So the Sinclair, nothing much is going to happen with for a long while. The two Rover V8s I will get round to in the relatively near future. The James 250 Commodore, or Commodore L25, is a project that you know, nothing will happen just yet, but it's not far off. I just want to finish the pit bike before I get started on this one. Last on the list is obviously my trusty Corvette. It's in this new home, new garage. It's longer than the other one, so I'll just put a bit of wood down there so I know where I'm at the end. And you probably can't see, but there's room at the front. There's a couple of inches at the front. And 6 inches at the back. So finally a garage it fits in without having to hit the front and back. So I've touched up the bumper there. As you can see, it's not a perfect job, but it will do for now. It's black. I've touched up the front cone on the point there. Again, not perfect, but it will do for now. And it will stay like that until I get them resprayed. It's fantastic. You can't really see in here. But yeah, obviously one of the tyres, this one I think, no, it must be the one over there, is absolutely borderline, so that will get replaced. I've had, and again I don't think I'll be able to show you, I don't think you'll see. no, it's too dark, but down there, right then there, here's a nice new rag joint, and the steering control valve has been rebuilt. Both done by my car wizard, Mr. Kendall. It's had a service, so it's ready to go for the show season. And that's about it as far as projects go. I've got a different CB to put in that has facility for PA, so I can put a PA speaker under the bonnet and swear at people from inside the car. I did start to give the wheels a polish up, but then I got called away to do something else, so they still need doing. It needs a polish, but I'll do that when I get to Billing Aquadrome on Friday. So yes, that is the next thing. If you're into American cars, get yourself to Billing Aquadrome over the weekend. Friday the 15th, 16th and 17th, I think, of this month, June. And you've got the big American Auto Club International Show. Failing that, I'll see you on the next instalment. The pit bike project is going a bit slower than I'd originally hoped, but the engine is free. Bores look good, so I just need a little bit of paint on there. Rebuild the carb and replace this dodgy air filter. I'm not going to worry too much about painting all this up. It's sort of a powder coated type finish, and it's just not worth the effort. The cases are good, they just look a little bit tatty, but I'll give these black bits a bit of a paint up. The only thing I have got to do is this wiring. I don't know if you can see, it's been cut and hacked about and played around with. It just looks a little bit dodgy. Green wires to yellow wires, and green wires not going anywhere, and it's yeah. So I've got the stuff to make up another wiring harness, new oil packs and whatever. So yeah, I'll do that. These foot pegs I'll replace. Obviously the stand will get replaced. The kick start will get replaced. I'll either rebuild or replace the carb. I'll check what the costings are. But other than that, that's not far off the engine being ready to go back in the frame. It's mainly just that wiring that needs sorting. As far as the frame goes, you can see there, obviously that's all stripped right down. I've given it a jet wash, but I'll give it a final clean and just repaint and treat these little rusty bits. But it's not bad enough to warrant stripping it all, the expense of stripping it all down and re-powder coating it. Again, the rear trailing arms are okay. These front forks I'll have to do something with. Function wise, they seem okay. They look a bit tatty. If I can replace the chrome bits cheaply, I will. If not, they'll probably get painted. But again, that's not far off getting put back together. Obviously I'll have to replace those wheels. They're pretty much shot, and all the plastics will have to be replaced. The bulk of the stuff is in that box there, ready to go back together. G-wheel or bush pig, whatever you want to call it, that's all working, good to go. Starts nicely, runs nicely, so that's basically a done deal. The only thing I might do is just replace the as you see there, the black strips that are sort of slightly gritty to help grip. I'll probably just have to replace that one. Other than that, again, it's a good clean up, a bit of a grease up, and that's good to go. not really a project I've probably spoken much about, but the generator, again, I bought it cheaply at auction, didn't work. That's been repaired. That's just a voltage regulator and some new brushes in the motor, so less than a fiver to repair that, so that's again good to go. The Sinclair over there could do with a just getting the steam cleaner on it to get the worst of the dirt ingrained into the plastics there off, and probably replace the reflective strips. But again, that's now basically a fully working unit. Good tyres, good inner tubes. I just want to redo the battery terminals out. I'm not happy with those, but no, that's still a good working vehicle that's been used, as you can tell by the scrapes and the dirt. So that's good to go. I've also got a tyre that's turned up. It's a second-hand tyre, but it's still sort of 6-7 mil of tread on it. Matches the other ones on the car. Date code is 08. Sorry, no, 09. So it's a 9-year-old tyre, but it will get me through this show season. As one tyre on mine is only just legal, so this will get me through a season, and I'll replace all 4 tyres in the winter. And the last project, which again you haven't seen, I know it's a bit dark now, but I've had to go and do some work, so is this a 1992 Land Rover Discovery 200 TDI, 5-door, non-sunroof model. I'll show you around this a bit more in daylight. Yeah, not a lot to say about that at the moment, really. It goes well. I've painted the bumpers, painted the trim around the windows. That looks a bit, make it look a bit better. When I got it, it got some god awful steel Defender or Series wheels, which are painted bright yellow. So they've been replaced with freestyle alloys and BF Goodrich tyres. It's got Range Rover front seats in it, which are a bit more comfy, and a snorkel. Still a few jobs to do on it, which I will go through another day when it's sunny and you can see. Keep watching.